I've judged you based on your Baldur's Gate 3 romance, and in the near future, I'll judge you based on your personal Dark Urge, Tav, and Dragon Age OCs. Google form in my description if you want to submit your character for judgment. Personally, I didn't think there were enough races to play as in Baldur's Gate 3, and the modding community has made it a true D&D experience since its release. So today, I thought I would judge you based on your favorite lineage or heritage from the actual Dungeons and Dragons game. Let's go. Human. You are painfully basic, but at least you know what you enjoy, I guess? Most of the time you're playing a human that has something weird about them, like maybe they're a sorcerer or something. You feel like you have to have a really out there background because otherwise people won't engage too much with your character, either within a creative sphere, like if you're an artist, or even within the D&D campaign itself. I feel like there's two types of people who play human characters as well. Whether you're either the stereotypical cishet guy who plays way too into their alignment and you're constantly bashing doors down, or you're the safe person to be around in the group chat that plays the campaign mom friend. You're probably a bit older as well, and honestly, I am a little bit worried about your politics most of the time. Please stop sending in millennial humor TikToks to the Discord server. We hate them, and they aren't funny anymore. High Elf. High Elf players are almost always playing some sort of royal character or something. Don't you try to deny it. You saw Lord of the Rings at a very young age, and since then your brain has developed into a constant fan cam of Legolas, Thranduil, and Galadriel. While I do enjoy a good noble player character, please shake it up. You're not escaping the basic allegations just because you're not playing as a human. The majority of Tavs and Dark Urges I see on the trending images tab of Nexus mods are either beautiful tieflings or the same picture of a white high elf woman. But they're actually all different characters. You guys are the equivalent of the Pinterest aesthetic illustrations I see all over my Instagram feed. When you play a high elf, you're supposed to be playing something a little bit more interesting. Out of everyone, I feel like you're the person in the group that is going to be the secretly racist person, and that says a lot about you guys. Wood elf. You're the embodiment of a crunchy mom. Please start wearing actual shoes into the grocery store, otherwise you're going to contract tetanus. And please play any class aside from druid. Please. Variety is the spice of life. Drow. I've got to be careful here because I love playing drow. Most of the time, I feel like drow players understand that the rules imposed on them from the original D&D 5e Handbook are stupid, but we've all had that one DM that made us stick to all of them. The drow players that you're safe to be around are the ones that love the aesthetic of Lolth, but actively make sure they don't play into the whole slavery angle. Because we know that Gary Gygax's lore does not exist, and if it did, it is incredibly awful. The ones you have to be worried around are the people who only play drow evil and constantly make the most egregious comments towards other characters. We all had that one player at the table that made everyone viscerally uncomfortable. You're probably someone with a lot of religious trauma who plays D&D as a cathartic hobby, and I think you're valid. Please take a break when you can and take a nap. You deserve it. Half-elf. You're incredibly normal about Critical Role. Definitely. Most of you saw Vax'ildan and Vex'alia from Campaign 1 and never looked back, which is pretty fair. Unfortunately, I do have to put you in the group with the humans most of the time, or the high elves, because you have to make up for your normalness with incredibly insane backstories. However, most of the time, you're not made up of red flags. Probably because you relate to the biracial nature of the half-elves somehow. You know what it's like to belong to two different cultures and yet to none at all. I hope that one day you find a community that accepts you for you, because you are normal, in the most positive way possible. Dwarf. Like the high elf players, but solely obsessed with the dwarves from Lord of the Rings rather than the elves. Unfortunately, most of you do play into the whole stereotype of gold-obsessed and slightly happy merchant vibes of the dwarves. As a Jewish person, I hate that, and I have to thoroughly vet anyone who plays a dwarf simply for that fact. I feel like you, the high elves, and the humans are at most risk for having really, really controversial political takes. Again, Please play outside of your comfort zone, I am begging you, and maybe stop voting red if you live in America. Halfling and Gnome. Pure and utter chaos. The Junkrat mains of D&D. You guys know no bounds and will do everything in your power to destroy a campaign from the inside out. Something in your everyday life is making you lose your marbles when you engage in your hobbies. Please find out what your triggers are, for everyone's health. Dragonborn. Just say you're a furry at this point. Everyone knows you are. Orc and half-orc. Like the half-elves, you know what it's like to come from two different cultures. You really love the contrast that you can put into characters, though, like playing a very dainty half-orc or orc that is actually very into magic and embroidery. I'm so sorry you get the short end of the stick in almost everything. You guys deserve better. Tiefling. We've heard it all before. You're the bisexual, usually trans person of the D&D group. Besides drow and aasimar, I play a lot of tieflings. It's sort of a rite of passage for people like us, I think. If you don't think it is, my guy, you are in for it, because you're probably the non-cishet person in your campaign. You just don't know it yet. It's pretty nice to be able to turn the whole demonic thing on its head when you've been vilified all of your life for something you can't control. Plus, you can fit a lot of trauma into these bad boys. And you sure have a lot of it. Remember that you have a therapy appointment soon. You gotta update your journal and make sure that all of your CPTSD homework from your workbook is done. Otherwise, your therapist might be upset with you. And nobody needs that on top of everything else that's happening in the world right now. Don't you think? Tabaxi and Leonin. The original furry. You've been around for a long time and honestly you just want to have fun in your D&D campaigns. All I can really say is that you're the most normal option within this set of lineages aside from the Dragonborn. You probably go to a lot of furry conventions and you have a fursuit that costs you way too much money, or you want to have one at least. And you never stopped being a warrior cat kid at heart. Shifter. Just be a werewolf or something. Stop kidding yourself. This is the option for all of the people who are in denial about being a furry. And again, at this point, everyone knows, okay? Just embrace it. It's fine. Centaur. Horse girl spotted. Somewhere deep down, you want to be outwardly a freak, but you're way too shy and have too many normal friends to safely do so. Godspeed, my fellow monster lover. Harengon. So when did you become obsessed with coquette core aesthetics and bunny girl costumes? Or was it when Zootopia came out and you witnessed the fandom's near-obsessive love with Judy Hopps? You guys are the real weirdos in the D&D world. And I have my eye on you. Kenku, Aarakocra, and Owlin. You're not like those other furries. You just really love birds, and that's it. Oh please. I know what you've been looking at on that phone of yours. Don't pretend you're better than your comrades. Kobolds, turtles, and lizard folk. Lizard folk and turtle people are somewhat normal. I don't see too many of y'all around. But you kobold people are nasty. I've seen way too much of the stuff that you're interested in, and I desperately want to unsee it. Please keep all of that away from me, thank you. Minotaur and Satyr. Answer a question for me. Did you read Percy Jackson and the Olympians as a kid? Because it shows. I support you for the most part. There's even a mod for you to play fawns and satyrs in Baldur's Gate 3 now. But I just know that you're one of those musical theater kids that I absolutely hated in high school. Stop listening to the same show tunes on loop and try something else, please, I'm begging you. Also, please stop projecting your voice. I'm pretty sure I've lost half my hearing by now. Wanty.
Snake. I'm a snake.
Well, am I wrong? You guys want to be seen as sad emo boys and cool warlocks wearing alternative fashion, but I know what you truly are. Aasimar. Were you also raised in an evangelical-based religion or cult that shaped your mind and traumatized you for life? I swear the Aasimar lineage is built for people who are interested in the esoteric, Lovecraftian, and weird, who also have severe religious and psychological trauma. You are constantly tired from fighting your demons and you just want the sweet relief of sleep, but unfortunately, you also suffer from a lot of nightmares as well. Unlike the tiefling enjoyers, you haven't been able to find a therapist that actually works with you. For now, all you can do is channel all of your experiences into something creative and hope for the best. Perhaps there should be a giant group chat for everyone who plays an Aasimar. Maybe we need that sort of community spirit for us. At least the Halos are cool and we can somewhat reclaim what was done to us through playing weird eldritch creatures. Gith. Anyone who seriously plays Githyanki or Githrizai only do so because they love Lae'zel. Nobody seriously played Gith before that, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Unfortunately, I think a lot of you do play into more racist stereotypes than you know, but I think that maybe because Larian has awful portrayals of people due to the Wizards of the Coast not updating their lore quick enough, but also because the people who make these pretty characters tend to enjoy calling people slurs on the internet. A small faction of you are, in fact, not horrible, but it's such a small amount that I haven't really ever come across many of you. For the most part, please educate yourselves because I think you're part of the problem. Sea Elf and Triton. You know that Animal Planet mermaid documentary? Yeah, you were convinced that was real. Anyone who plays a sea elf, a triton, or even a water genasi are just people who wanted to be mermaids when they were children. And this is the only way you're able to process all of that, aside from buying one of those really expensive silicone tails off of Etsy. Genasi and Eladrin. You guys are some of the most creative people in the D&D fandom. Y'all take the concept of elements and absolutely blow my mind with it. Sometimes you just want to play a sentient ball of fire that has skin made out of constantly moving lava, which I think would make it really hard for someone to hug you. But it's a cool concept, at least. You're definitely some form of artist or an aspiring writer. It was kind of a given since people are constantly asking you what your character looks like. Then they make a face when they can't envision it properly. Continue to make amazing character designs, but make sure that you watermark your pieces before you upload them, just in case they get stolen and put on Pinterest. Goliath and Furbolg. You're one of two people. People who love the aesthetics of nature and the Vikings, as well as the stories of the Fae, but you're very respectful about it. Or you're the one person in your friend group that has suspiciously far-right tattoos and needs to put on deodorant or take a shower. There's a real fine line, and too many of you cross that line way too much. Please look up why white people wearing box braids or locks is actually incredibly bad for your hair and is also cultural appropriation. Changeling. The gay trans tiefling player to gay and trans changeling player pipeline is real. Every trans person I feel like can relate to changeling so much that sometimes it viscerally hurts, and I can attest to that. I really want to be able to shapeshift. And I think I should be able to. I feel like we all would save a lot more money if we were able to, considering our gender-affirming surgeries are so expensive. Anyone who plays a changeling is definitely somewhere on the LGBTQ spectrum, and you probably play them with a specific social commentary concept in mind. Everything you watch on YouTube is a very niche video essay, and you know what? You should comment it down below. I love a good weird video essay that I can listen to while drawing my D&D icons for Patreon. Fairy. Most of you are incredibly annoying and don't actually know how the Fae work. Please do some actual research before you make your 16th Pixie character of the week. If I got you right, let me know down in the comments below. And again, if you want me to judge you gently based on your individual OCs, I have a Google form in the description that you can fill out. Anyhow, I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thank you to The Coffee Rain, Fluffy Bunny Bottoms, Nico, Ashen X Rogue, Will, Austin, Isabella, Redeemer of Bad Himbos, Vicarian's Babe, Impossible Rat Babies, Night Margie, Estrella, Court, Team Talltail, Bunny, Lux Coffin, Little Starlight, Peach and Milk, Robin, Anonbi, Delphi, CJ, Nyruse, Summer Scroll, Ren, Silas, Tass, Sunny, Sleepy, Nidraws Things, Jay, Val, Callan, Amanda, Ava, and Lana.